And it's Astro Monday, and it's a 29-degree Aquarius day. It's a Grandmaster day in Aquarius, which is equality, fairness. And if you feel like your life is coming apart, if you feel like there's coincidence coming into your life, today's the day you're going to find out. Today's the day where the mastery of everything that you've learned over the last 50 days is coming into play. As you come into the the live here, I want you to put down your sun, your moon, and your rising. If you have your degrees, do that. We are going to tear this apart today. We've got Christopher Witecki back from a 2-week hiatus. So here we come. Christopher Witecki. The comments, your sun, your moon, your rising, and come over here and give us a bunch of likes. Yeah, it's going to be a powerful day today.
Hello.
Christopher,
How-
how are you?
I'm good, dude. After, like, say, a makeover a little bit, this last couple weeks has been intense. It's my seventh house, so it's a house of me and relationships. So
Your
this is intense. It's a
seventh
rocky one.
house. What
Mm-hmm.
happened to
Seventh house.
houses 1 through 6? Did you get rid of them?
Yes,
Just joking.
I am. That is part of the negotiation. We are getting rid of them.
Wow, dude, I gotta tell you, it has been. I mean, it's been 2 weeks since we've done that, 3 weeks, and
Yep,
I
totally.
tell you, transformative, incredible. Like we're in Austin here, where we started the tour,
Mm. Oh,
and
that's ironic. Yeah.
yeah, ironic. And we're starting a new version of it right now because time is speeding up. So this is, I think we're already at last year May because June the year is over, I believe.
Mm.
Because things are speeding up, and
Mm-hmm.
so we're back here restarting. We did a pop-up event which
Mm.
had with a couple days notice, and it had about half the population that we had at the big one.
Mm.
It's just amazing. Yeah, and everybody's unraveling around us.
Oh, oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're having some of that too. We're having some self-sabotage stuff. People are making, like in our staff, just certain mistakes that led to dismissal. Like, so, people are sort of like, I think if you were putting off your growth, you had some sort of like some sort of a lightning strike change, like some sort of shock to the system,
yeah,
which is, which is Uranus. So, and it kind of happened around that energy too, around 22 onward, you know, um, people, saying things you can't forget, things like that, you know.
yeah. So last week, yeah, since Sunday night, Monday last week, right?
Correct. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So we've noticed that, and with clients they're reporting that into. And for me, so just for me, it's just like the butterfly came out in the last week. That have been, cocooning for I don't know, 6 months. Since my
so,
anti-birthday probably. Yeah.
so what does that mean when you say the butterfly came out?
I feel like there's a new version of ourselves that's going to come forward for this new story. And I'm
Mhm.
always a little ahead of the curve because I'm a teacher. So I manifest a little ahead. Technically, people are going to, I think, manifest a new ego in Aries. So remember last year in Aries, we had a solar eclipse at 19 degrees,
Yes,
which is
and
basically,
then we had another one at 19 or right after that or something like that, right? Didn't we?
oh, we had, yeah, as far as moon events, but that eclipse, that eclipse is like through Texas, actually through Austin, where you are now.
Yeah.
So the shadow of the eclipse went through Austin and through that southern part. And what that was the birth of a new ego, a new operating ego. Ego and also heart's intention. It's 19. So the ego aligned to a new heart's intention, which manifests into a net 10, which is basically ultimately the umbrella in which you operate in life. So we were being called to a new umbrella. All this year
Hmm.
we've been doing is shedding the components that hold us back from stepping into that new ego. And here at SiriusStar.com, we're coining that the WeGo, WEGO, WeGo. And this new WeGo is based on the We, which is Age of Aquarius, the two lines going together. And we argue that the new WeGo will always include another to this person. So the original ego consciousness on Earth was I, me,
Hmm.
and now it's we.
Yeah, which is the Age
So
of
right,
Aquarius. I mean, effectively,
right.
it is community, so that makes sense that we're there, right?
And even if people are low vibration, they'll probably be like, I can't get this done until I kill that person. Like they're still going to include the we, even though the other one's the enemy, right? Like, so they won't just think for themselves now. So in some ways, war will intensify for those who are at the low vibration, right? And for those with the high vibration, the new cities will be built.
So, so let's talk about this because first of all, there's been radical shifts and change since the new moon.
Mm.
And that was the new moon. That was a week ago, right? That was last week.
Yes, actually. Yes, sir. Was it? Or was it 2 months ago? Yes, actually, it was on the 12th. Was it the 12th? Early morning, 6:53 a.m.
Yeah, so that was that's one week ago, right?
Six
Yeah,
days, just shy. Yeah.
yeah. So went through that new moon, could feel it,
Hmm.
could feel everybody shifting, things changing, people changing places. It's like kind of doubling down on stuff that I think there I was feeling a month ago.
Hmm.
And so what's up here? Like, first of all, why is it so intense today? It's a 29-degree day,
Hmm.
right? So why is it so intense today? And what is it going to look like going into Pisces? Because Pisces is usually just brings all of the truth of everything. It's the connection.
Hmm.
It's always very tumultuous in this transition.
Well, I feel in Pisces, we've been growing in Pisces for a long time. In fact, I was talking in today's pep talk that, the age of Pisces began, in 5 BC roughly. And so, those who are here now, so Christ was the beginning, and this is the wrap up of the age of Pisces. So this is the graduation of the age of Pisces, what's happening with Neptune at 28 degrees and Saturn at 19 degrees, both fixed in the high heavens. Those are very powerful planets. With the sun entering in now, it'll be the acceptance of that graduation, so to speak. I think it'll still take another 50 years to fully exit Pisces and enter Aquarius. And I think you'll see a blend of the two, which is spiritual values implementing into consciousness. So just compassion and understanding and things that Christ was teaching. So they're going to be implementing. But for the personal, this Pisces season means it is your wrap up of the age of Pisces. It is your thesis paper. It's your conclusion. And so we are, in essence, shifting timelines in the sense of our heaven sent timeline, the company of heaven, we're up there. We decide, I want to do this and I want to do this on earth, the two spiritual goals. And then you have those spiritual goals play out through physical plot points. So it is the upgrade of spiritual software, if you will. Like this is us getting the new spiritual program in this Pisces and forgiving and forgetting and letting go of the old program in Pisces. That's the undermath of the new WeGo. The new WeGo is based on this new spiritual operating system,
So we have somebody in. I
SOS.
just pinned. We have somebody pinned here. That's and this is Ashby 18. Are you a 29 Aquarius Sun with a 14 Aquarius Moon with a 29 Aquarius Rising? Can you type in the comments if that's actually who you are? Because if you are, I feel like we want to talk to you today.
Sure. I mean, if you are, Guinness Book wants to talk to you.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
we've got all the on the 29 Masters group, all the Aquariuses. I'm sure they're coming out today, but I'm feeling it. So
Mm.
what does it actually mean in 29 degrees? Why is it so intense for everybody?
Well, 29 is the only degree where you can actually change the shape of the sign. So, like the conscious spectrum of Aquarius can only be changed by a cooperation between 0 and 29. Okay, and for 29 people, they're always to focus on the 0. That's their the root of mastery is to focus back at the beginning. And so it's the grandmasters of 29 that focus on the 0 that usually increase the vibration to a frequency or raise the ceiling of the frequency to a higher level that was here before. So, they say that Earth is ascending. Well, Earth is ascending partially because the 29 tent poles are raising the height of the tent always, and every year they do. In this particular year, you have more flexibility and ability because Pluto at 2 degrees has loosened the bolts at the bottom. And so, because the bolts have been loosened by Pluto, you can actually raise the tent to a higher level. So, I think for the 29 aquas, and for those who can vibrate at that level, all 29s, frankly, because remember, if you have the same step number as the sun, it's like a subparticle conjunction. So, yeah.
I've got magic happening today. We're doing podcasts, and I have a like an old 28-degree Scorpion, not old, but somebody from my
Hmm.
past come today to do a podcast. I've got a I got a Grandmaster Capricorn, and I'm not gonna link what it's about right now, but they're all in the same realm, and it just happened that they all collided today. So that I've got to know that there's something around that, right?
Oh, I mean, anything you meet on today is going to set precedent. And one thing I'm noticing in my life, like I've got people from 20 years ago on my team, 30 years ago on my team. just entered my team in the last 9 months. Like, so, realizing,
Coming back,
we
you
met.
mean?
Yes, and working with me.
Yeah, I mean,
I got
this
like
has
4
been
people from the past working with me now. Like,
okay.
and
So
then
that
close people, my A players, like these aren't
yeah.
just average people either. These are all A players, such A players that I'm like, it'd be great to work with you, but I know you got your own path. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing.
So that's
And just to kind of
that's actually
accept that I
happening
wouldn't.
for me all the
Mm,
way through.
mm, mm,
Like all these old relationships in the past. There's even I came out here yesterday to work with Dave Asprey, which is from my past, 2017.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, and same here. So I've got the person who introduced me to astrology on my team. I've got a person that I learned television with on my team. I've got 3 people from that television company on my team. So some persons from a couple of people from Soul Garden, my first brand. So actually, that's what told me that shift's about to happen because I come from TV Hollywood. I worked there as a kid. If you work enough films and TV sets, you can tell what's going to be a hit when the set has a buzz to it. You know, and when all the people on the set are just fucking awesome. Craft service is awesome. Wardrobe chick is awesome. Like everyone's awesome. I remember the last time I felt that was what was it called? I can't remember that medical show with George Clooney. What was it like? What was
Which
that
one?
show?
Which one? The show, the TV
It
show, or
was
the
a medical
movie?
show with Clooney.
Oh, where he played the doctor.
Yes. I was on
Oh,
some of the pilot episodes. I was on that set of that unknown show, and seeing Clooney and everyone else like that, and it's just like the buzz on that show was like, this is going to be a hit, y'all. This is, you can feel it because all the A players are in the same room at the same time. So when you see your A players all coming together, you're on something that's going to succeed.
okay. So since it's 29 degrees, and I'm super curious now, let's see if we can do
Okay,
this
sounds
here. Oh
good.
shoot, hold on a second here. Ash V18, can you do me a favor and can you accept, or sorry, can you request to go live? Because it's not
Yeah,
letting
request
me.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, sometimes it doesn't let me, so we'll have to see
Depends who's
if it does.
at work at Instagram today. Just let him in. There's some Dr. Evil somewhere.
Yeah, a Dr. Dark. I don't, I
hmm
don't, I don't think they're evil anymore. They're just dark.
Yeah, I don't believe in evil. I
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
not in a God sense. You know,
no, no, no.
no.
I mean,
It's a man-made convention to get away with shit.
yeah.
Yeah, in my opinion. You know, they invented the devil, they invented the story of Lucifer. I honestly don't believe any of it. I think, and whenever it's happened to happen, it's not the case.
Says
Oh,
Ashley Tony.
Ashley,
Or
you're on the air now.
is it
Okay,
Ashley?
good.
Yeah, that's me.
Hi.
Ashley,
Hey.
you need to send me your information after. We have a group of 29 degrees that we meet with all over the world.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm in that group.
Okay. Well, happy birthday,
It.
Ashley.
Thank you.
Happy step birthday.
Tomorrow.
Happy step
Where are
birthday. Happy
you?
step
Where
birthday.
are you, Ashley?
I'm in Northern Ireland.
Northern
Ooh.
Ireland.
Yeah.
So
So, yeah.
go ahead, Chris.
I was gonna say, what light work are you doing in Northern Ireland? Why were you assigned there by God?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh,
Do you know, recently all I've been thinking about is how I would like to move.
so maybe you're assigned
So
with someone else.
maybe I'm not supposed to be here.
Okay, fair enough. A reassignment. Yeah.
So what is your
Yeah, I mean,
life like being a 29 Aquarius?
Um, I'm kind of new to the whole astrology thing, so and until I sort of looked into this, probably just in the last year, it kind of makes things has made sense to things that I hadn't really thought about before.
mhm.
I don't really. I move a lot,
Okay.
and I move friends a lot, and I change jobs a
Okay.
lot, and I get bored a lot,
Yes.
like unsettled.
Yes. And how old are you, if you don't mind me
Um,
asking?
I'm 40
Oh,
tomorrow.
okay. Happy birthday. Interesting.
Thank you.
That actually 4 is a Uranus rule number. So all
Whoa, yeah.
all of your 40s are Uranus rules. So you coming out of a Jupiter ruled decade of all 30, 31,
Okay.
32. It's I believe in this, and I believe in this, and I believe in this. And starting at 40, it's like, okay, innovate for 10 years of innovation. So now you're called to
Okay.
rise up. I would argue that because you're a grandmaster, the reason why you're changing is because you're quickly and rapidly remembering yourself of all your past lives. that led you to the 29. So 29 tend to bloom a little late in their 40s because they have so much backstory to upload. There's so much
Yeah,
backstory to
really?
upload. Hmm.
Why didn't I know that at 39? It would have been a lot easier.
Why didn't you know me? I don't know. I
So
guess it was meant to struggle.
so she's going to
Mhm.
40, which is basically which is the Aquarius year. That's the year you entered it, and she's 29 Aquarius sun, 14 Aquarius moon, and 29 rising. And
That's
you have the rest of your
crazy.
chart. What's the rest of your chart look like? Do you have it right there?
She's not used to this.
And,
She's doing a good job though.
I know I'm not used to, I only screenshot the bit at the side with all the numbers, not the actual chart bit.
No,
So
yeah, just the numbers are good. Like what
Yeah.
is I'm curious to know what the rest I'm curious to know what your Saturn is.
Saturn at 27
Oh,
Scorpio.
Whoa.
that is intense. Yeah.
You're scaring me.
No, it's all good. There's no
Good
bad.
intense.
There's no bad past 20.
Okay.
There's no bad. There's unfortunate, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but there's no bad.
Well, let's go into this. What are the things, Chris, would you want to know to? Because
Well,
I'm
Saturn,
I'm
I'm
really
curious to
curious.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to know all of it. So her Mars, her Venus. I just gotta go through the steps for us, and I mean the planets
Okay.
and
Venus 13 Aries, Mars 11 Aries, Jupiter 2 Aquarius, Uranus 17 Sagittarius, Neptune 3 Capricorn, Pluto 2 Scorpio, True Node, I don't even know what that is, 22 Taurus,
Mm,
and Chiron, 3 Gemini.
okay. So, I mean, I can see from that for there's like two real principal areas I think that are important. Like one is that you know, your North Node at 22 Taurus says that ultimately the path is to transform to innovate what you manifest. You have to innovate what you manifest. Everything you manifest has to be better than what you manifested before, period. Always has to be better. Always. Okay.
Okay.
You're in a constant and never ending increasing, energy. You're very qualified for it, but your Uranus was at, what was it in Sag? At what degree? Forgive me, I can't
Is
remember. It was like,
17.
okay, so Uranus at 17 means, Uranus is the ruling planet of Aquarius. So when you have that much Aquarius, you have to go, well, what does the ruler want? What does the king want? The king is Uranus. It says, I want her to innovate the beliefs people commit to in daily life. The beliefs that people commit to. So like you're going to innovate our operating system, our belief structure, our commanding belief structure of life. So like, our commanding belief structure of life, for instance, right now is capitalism is one. Christianity is still has a commanding belief structure. It's like affecting our day-to-day life. They're belief structures and philosophies that affect our day-to-day life that empower or disempower human beings. So you're here to decide and implement, because it's net 8, this. And it looks like between your Mars in a low degree and your Venus in a high degree, somehow your own expression of yourself is going to help people make this transition from the ego to the we go, which is happening next month, like that real transition. So you yourself are some sort of a living example. But it seems that your hang up is that you have a past life where you fell out of belief in yourself. You stopped believing in yourself for whatever reason. Maybe about the bullshit of the church. Maybe listen to a husband or a wife. But you forgot believing in yourself. You stopped. So there's a personal journey there of having to reinforce your belief in yourself when in fact you're trying to tell the world to believe something different.
Okay.
Okay, she took that with a grain of salt.
Well,
And so,
I
but I think,
I think it's going to get really interesting for you next month.
oh yeah, yeah. And your Jupiter's at 3, right? Sorry.
Jupiter is 2 Aquarius.
Oh, it's in 2 Aquarius. So Pluto's on your Jupiter right now.
Whoa.
And Jupiter at 2 Aquarius says the way you're going to believe in yourself is because you feel you're right. That's it. Because you feel you're right. No proof, no evidence, no things to point to. You will feel it, and therefore you must risk everything on that feeling. And 29 is to act on your feelings, 9 to the 2. So meaning 29 means you're here to act on your feelings. Jupiter at 2 says your feelings will always be accurate. Always. Pure accuracy. Always. Like you mastered feelings in another lifetime, so you're bringing that knowledge with you. I have Jupiter at 11, so I've already mastered, you know, energetic integrity. That's my mastery. That's actually what I use like to do readings and everything. I'm bouncing it off of my understanding, which comes to a feeling. It adds to it too. I can feel when something's off. I can feel where the client's off. I can feel what's out of alignment. It's something I was born with. You were born with the ability to have acute awareness of your feelings. So the
Yeah.
exact synthesis of the vibration, almost down to a decimal.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
Your natal moon is what? One more time. It's 15
what was that
or
one?
14. Your natal moon is 14 Aquarius. Is that right, Gary?
Yeah.
So right
Yeah, that's it.
here's the thing. Right now, your natal moon is run by a 5, 145. So your moon tends to be dominated by your mind, and your mind is constantly dismissing an idea by whether or not your heart feels you deserve it. So your moon is actually matrix in a very complicated way. You've got to get yourself out of the way to get a pure read of your feelings.
Okay.
And the only way to do that is to have already satisfied the moon's intention. So the moon's intention is it has to be with what her heart belongs with. It has to be what her heart belongs with. If her heart doesn't belong with it, she doesn't belong reflecting the emotions of it. If her heart belongs with it, then she does, she is supposed to reflect the emotions of it. So if that is conflicted, your read on the two will be off because your own personal feelings are getting in the way of your read.
Okay.
And your mind will take you down sort of a rabbit hole instead of listening to the feelings.
So when I have ideas about things, I would have a couple of business ideas almost daily, and I'll think through it, and then I'll get to the end, and then I'll think, no, that's too much, and it's like I'm not that I'm not confident, but it's like the ideas are there, but I don't have the, and I think I'm right, and I know the way things should be and how they'll work, but I don't seem to be very good at pursuing them or pushing it to the next level.
Well,
Um,
to some degree, you're still reviewing past lives. So, like one of those business ideas might have been an entire lifetime you lived, just in one business idea, and you got to the end of that lifetime, you're like, oh, that's right, I ended up unhappy in the end, dismissed, But the filter you're looking for is the 14, where your heart belongs, and your heart
okay.
belongs is like the heart belonging is Aquarius. I mean, belonging is Aquarius, and one is Leo. So 14 is a pure expression of the Leo Aquarius vibration, where it starts with the heart and ends up with a place in society. I think your mind is not looking to the heart, so it comes down to your favorite. So keep this simple. Unless it's your favorite, unless you want it for your birthday, unless you can eat it every day of the week, and just your heart just loves it, dismiss. Dismiss. You just let it
Okay.
go. So you have to ask your heart if you're in love with it. Because if you're in love with it, it doesn't matter how big or small. When you said too big, I think that's a fear of your Jupiter 3. You will be big. There's no way at 29 you won't be big. There's no
Yeah.
way.
Absolutely.
Or you'll be
You're
like
going to
super
impact the world.
potent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll always start small. It has to. Everything big has to start small or it will fall.
You're going to change the way the world believes in something and
Mhm.
impact the world at a major scale. My only advice to you as somebody who's currently doing it is just don't fuck it up. I'm just
Yeah.
joking.
Well, you'll make mistakes,
I
but
know.
you're going to make mistakes because we learn from your mistakes as much as we learn from your successes. As a 29, you're going to teach us by your mistakes too. That's part of the
Yeah.
deal. But the problem is you recover from a mistake overnight, whereas another person would be devastated for their life. You just like dust it off and you're back up again on your feet. So you've got a superpower to recover. That's why you shouldn't fear mistakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
do it.
It's interesting.
I was going to say,
Go ahead.
I as a 29 Sag, I had the same thing as you. All these business ideas, they would come up and I would think of them all the time. And sometimes I act a little bit on them, but I now know that for me, those were pieces of who I was before. So the idea came up, and for me, it was that idea. I thought it through. Well, I didn't do that business, but that business became a part of what I'm doing today because it
Yes.
informed me on how to make decisions.
There are components of it you'll probably keep and ingredients you'll probably keep for the final solution. Don't forget, you're a 29 Aquarius, so you are the we. WE. Like you are going to wait for cues from society as much as you wait for cues from yourself. You're here to resolve a problem that we have. The problem has to present itself clearly to you, probably not to society, but clearly to you, so clearly that there'll come a problem where you go, I'm the only person for this. I just know it. There's just no one on the earth better than me to fix this. And that was how my vision came. I was just like, I'm the guy. I just know I'm the guy, and, I had to prove it to myself and, I'm making Edgeway and it's a big vision. So we're talking 19 years. This is my 19th year at it. So, so it's a long call. When you're to make a mark and change the earth, it's a 30, 40-year investment, overall, even to where you're lecturing as an old lady.
Yeah. It's like last night I went through a whole idea with my partner for affordable housing, and I went
Her
through
solution
it
for
in great
housing.
I was trying to explain, because I've a couple of houses that I'm renting and like two other people, and I don't really agree with the amount of rent that you charge. And here in this country, there's a lot of benefits for people, and it sort of works against like hardworking people.
Yeah.
And I've no need to sit and be worried about this, but it was in my head, and I sat through this whole plan of affordable housing and how it would work and a scheme and everything to get young working couples so they're not paying crazy money and then they can't save for a mortgage. And my partner was like, well, why do you care? And I was like, but down the line, it's it's all going to fall apart at some point. And I mean, not that it's relevant, but it's just that's for my mind goes, and it goes into great detail, and I work out the figures and I work out how much money and when I would make that money back again, and then I'll probably never think about that again.
You will. Or like as Garry is saying, you'll have something else and you'll take the affordable housing model and apply it to something, like you're actually working on the solution all the time.
Yeah.
Whether or not you have it. Even I did not know what it was when I started. I know it was that way. And I had to wait for technology. Like I make my money selling text messages on a phone. There wasn't cell phones when I started this. There wasn't, there weren't text messages. There were just beeper pages. So it's like I didn't even have the technology I had invented was necessary for my vision when I started the path. It relied on society to contribute. And then I took advantage of those moments and opportunities way before other people did, which made me a pioneer and a leader because I could see where this could take me and what I could do with it now that people weren't doing with it. So, in some cases, you're waiting for the humanity to cue you.
Yeah, I think that's it. And even like I don't know a lot about politics, but I can see where things are wrong. And not that it makes me angry, but I just look at things and I'm just like, that is so simple. How can they not, put A and B together and make something work?
Yeah, but
in my head, I think I'm right, but maybe I'm not.
No, you're right.
You're right.
But you'll have to, but you'll also meet other masterminds who will add. The humility is that there'll be people as brilliant as you who have contributions, and you will yourself be impressed by their contribution. At that point, you'll see how it's a cooperative and not just a singular, and you won't be so worried about being arrogant. But you're at 29, so you have been on this earth watching it fuck up lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. You are fed up. Your soul is fed up. You're tired of it. Like it's got to change now. Like I just can't handle it. Who reminds me is Benjamin Franklin, a Grandmaster Step 26 Capricorn. And Benjamin Franklin with he wrote, he invented, he created real estate. He's made things that we use today. He invented, the Farmer's Almanac. He just the contributions were so everywhere. And that's also too, keep in mind, you'll have what do you think Benjamin Franklin is known for? It's depends on what industry you're in. You know what I mean? Where you idolize him. So, many of these ideas may be smaller than the other ones and they get taken care of. You're not a single one-hit wonder. Keep it in mind. Okay.
Actually, I think there's a reason why everything happens, and I caught you today. I'm coming back to Ireland too, by the way. So when I come, I'm coming back there soon. So let's just get together. I have an idea.
Yeah, we
for
see
you
in Dublin. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Ashley.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. I hope to meet you one day.
Yeah. No problem. I'm going to say my kids are screaming in the background somewhere.
Okay.
That's the mission
Thank
right
you.
All
now.
right.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I feel compelled that everything happening today just feels like it's important.
Oh,
And
it
I
is.
had I knew that I was supposed to be in Austin on the 16th, and I knew I knew it like when I knew how to be out of the United States, and then pulled up the astrology, and it's like that date was super important to be here. Looking at the
Mm.
astrocartography, that so then I was waiting. Okay, something's going to draw me there, and then I got a call from a 28-degree Scorpio that said, "Hey, can you come and work with Dave Asprey?" And I'm like, that was my calling card. That's why I came.
Yeah, I had that too. I was in LA recently, and my guides told me that I needed to stay a couple extra days after the conference. And I was like, I don't know why. And I was like, why are you there? And I was like, the spirit told me. And it turned out I had to wrap up like the storyline with like like a soulmate,
Yeah,
partner, like
yeah,
someone that had, been integrating with me for a long time and holding me back. So, it's like you just got to listen to those hunches
yeah,
right now.
yeah. So
Yeah.
what is it? Let's talk about that. And that's interesting. I felt compelled to call her up, and now I know why. I'm going back to Ireland too. So let's talk about this week then, because I feel like this week is this massive turning point. It feels like today is the day.
It is a mass turning point. When today's the day where you recognize like how high can this go? What's its potential? So again, today sets the intention for how far we can go. Some people push it to the limit, on a day like today. But I don't feel like the planets are really calling for that in any way. What today is really calling for is perspective. You're basically, erasing, as we put in Series Toy, today you're erasing the worst case scenarios. You're
Hmm.
realizing, this worst case won't work. This will not happen. So all the worst case scenarios that could happen get dismissed, which in a way takes the bolts off. The reasons why you weren't jumping was because of these worst case
Right,
scenarios. And I think we're
right.
realizing today that's not true. It was just my fear, my emotion, or whatever. So we move into Pisces, at 3 a.m., 5 a.m. Eastern time. So overnight you move into Pisces, which is appropriate here in the United States. It'll be a subconscious dream state. And zero Pisces is basically landing on your spiritual feet and realizing that the whole premise of your life is changing. The whole premise, you know. And the premise up until now was to heal for everyone. I mean, the premise was to heal. I would think now the premise is to perform.
Yeah, feels like it.
Hmm. Like every case, everywhere. This is like, kind of the same energy as World War II. We know where women, rose through the rivets went in the factories, men did this, we saved our aluminum foil. Everyone performed. Everyone. Like no one got out of that. There was different reasons and intentions that were dark back then. I don't think the intentions are dark now. I mean, I think dark influenced us since COVID, but I think now people are dark or no dark. I'm doing it.
Right.
It's not for the dark. So that's a significant innovation. And so from that proclamation of zero, we go all the way through step 4 by Saturday. And so by Saturday, we realize for me to have this new spiritual foundation, I belong approaching myself at the subconscious level with this intention. So subconsciously, your intention was, I'm going to heal myself. I'm sick. I'm going to heal myself. And I think now the intention is, I'm well. And, what is going to be my new approach to myself? So step 4 Pisces is your subconscious spiritual approach. In a way, it is your magic bean. Because if that intention isn't fulfilled, and I think it's already been filed with the universe up in the company of heaven, like this is not a discovery of the sense of, aha, I figured it out. It's, aha, I remembered. I remember now what I came down to do here next. And if that's the case, well, then I can no longer approach myself spiritually as the sick one or the victim and that subconscious intention will play out in every facet of what you do because it's the soul, it's the teeth, it's the bones,
Hmm.
so it creates the shape and the movability and everything of the spiritual embodiment, which is Earth and Virgo. So we begin to, over time, re-embody this new spiritual intention. So I do predict that for those who are subjected to heavy experiences in the body, this might be a really heavy month. If you resist the changes the body is insisting on, you're up for some pain.
Right. I I can there's it's never all of a sudden when it comes to the body. There's like warning signs, and since we see it in scale, so we see literally tens of thousands, millions of a million of questions a month, literally.
Mm,
So we can see these patterns starting to develop, and I can see that a lot of people are going to have patterns in their body
yeah.
in this Aquarius
Mm,
season.
mm. Are these patterns that will stay for a while, or are these transitional patterns?
Well, stay for a while. It's because it's an accumulation in the body. If you haven't done the right thing, it's an accumulation of dysfunction until all of a sudden you can't do something. The body
Mm,
spirals down,
mm,
and people go and everything's good. They have an issue, it's still good. They can still move. They have another issue. They spiral down, and then boom, then they have a come to Jesus moment. Like you said, it's new Jesus coming now. So,
mm.
that's what it is for people. Like between now and basically end of April, in their bodies, most people are going to have a new Jesus.
Mm, mm. Perhaps this is the original one, and the ones we've been fed with the Christian church one. Like this is
Yeah,
the actual version of Jesus. Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
It's going to
because
be rough for a lot of people.
yeah, for those who, yeah, especially here in America, I mean, I think I've been experiencing that the last 2 weeks already. So again, I'm ahead of the curve there. My body's
Hmm.
told me enough and enough. I've sent you emails, text messages about it. Like, so I've had to be like, what? Okay, what do you want? Like look down at my body. So I understand that completely. Yeah.
So tomorrow, 0 degrees, and then that means Wednesday it's 1 degree. So what does Wednesday feel like?
So one day we wrote the dream is life spirit. The dream of your life of your spirit is reality. So what you realize on Wednesday is that whatever you've been dreaming about is actually your destiny. Like, it wasn't just a dream. You know, it, so we look at this as like what you thought was a vivid imagination was you planning. Like
Right.
a realization like, oh God, this is real. And I think that's true for a lot of people. I mean, even I have had moments of like, oh, I mean, when I was young, I was like, I might be kidding myself. I'm not going to tell anyone that. Like, it sounds too arrogant. It sounds too over the top. But now that I'm up here, I'm like, holy shit, I was right. Like this is what my heart wanted. This is what my heart's doing, and I knew it. And I think that's rare. I mean, I think that's not very common. This lifetime is full of people like that. But what your heart wants and dreams about is this. It's legit. And now it's like, are you going to let yourself down and love yourself and let yourself have it, or are you going to bring the doubts of the first part of your life to it and cloud it? And that's where I think step two happens. Actually for step one, our statement is, I sense love is what is. So it's like, love is it, period. Like love is it. Like it's everything. If there's not love, it's not meant to be. Like you gotta, for some, they'll realize and that's God's will. The company of heaven's will, the agreement. It's like, if you love it, like we were talking to the last caller, if you love it, it's right.
Hmm.
What if I love a lot of things? Then you're meant to love a lot of things. What if I love a lot of people at the same time? We have a name for that. Like you can do it. Um, it's allowed. So in that sense of giving your heart permission, this is the revolution right there. The revolution is
Hmm.
that we have been told, you're not smart enough. You're not born to the right family. You need to go to the right college. Like basically, what your heart wants, it's a dream. It's just your imagination. And the truth is like, no, that's what they came to do, right? In the sandbox. So you have this love is thing, and the statement here is the statement of my whole year. I love, therefore I am, replacing Descartes, who is way wrong. And so I love, therefore I am. If you love it, therefore you are it. If you love chocolate, you're a chocolate lover. If you love lots of people, you're a polygamist. Like it's okay. What you love is what you are. If you love it, there can be no wrong. And so from that premise, I think that's the premise of the new intention. That premise then gives permission to the new ego to take liberties it wants to take. But I think step two is, the emotions come pouring in. So when you say, I love, therefore I am, the feelings are like, what about this time? What about this time? What about this? So I think there's emotional argument from your soul. It's almost like
Hmm.
putting you step in bubble gum. You gotta lift your foot up on the trail. And it's like, burn. The past like starts to pull on you. And what's pulling on you is your emotional attachment to the feelings, which is complicated,
Right.
but you're emotionally attached to the feelings. It's not even, you're just attached to the feelings. And part of the reason why you're attached to the feelings is because we've been embracing sorrow for the passionate, good movie experience in place of the joy. And so we've come to accept sorrow, sadness, pain, despair. These were at least good holding feelings to be human, because we came down here to feel, we came down here to experience. And so we filled that with pain when we didn't know how to create joy. And so when you're telling me, hey, I'm taking away all your emotions, Gary, replacing with new ones, there's like, but wait, there's a teddy bear effect where it's just like part of you wants to hold on to that feeling like a drug, which it kind of is. And so I think that this is where at step 2 and step 3 is, well, do you have the power to forgive yourself or not? Do you believe that you are the expression of God, or you have to go through someone else? Are you going to wait to please someone in heaven? Is that what gives you permission? Or can you just take it as a child of God? What do you believe in yourself? What do you believe about yourself? So I think the 3 helps
3's on
us
Friday,
release
right?
the 2.
3's
3 is
Friday,
on
right?
Friday, yeah. But is this like a 1, 2, 3, like boom, 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 like
Yeah.
inside people shifting super fast,
Yeah, Friday,
whereas it took.
Friday I'm off to Dubai too, and Saturday, Sunday I'm on a stage in Dubai.
Mm, that's intense.
Hmm
That's really interesting.
Well,
I don't give a.
because then Saturday is Grandmaster, it's 4,
Mm-hmm. Well,
and
Grandmaster Aquarius,
Sunday
yeah,
and
yeah.
Sunday is Gemini Aquarius. Wow, what a day
Oh,
to
Pisces. We're in
be
Pisces
called.
by now. Just to
Or
be clear.
sorry, Gemini Pisces. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's you're on the line.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's the Grandmaster Aquarius in Pisces. So I think what that is, that 4 on Saturday is like everything you concluded today at 29. You know, it affects the place you take inside yourself in Pisces. So like the work you do in Aquarius goes, okay, then I deserve to put myself here. Inside I belong here, not here. And that's all the Aquarius work depositing into Pisces, like
So
uploading into the Pisces program.
it's so curious. Why would it be? It was so funny the way this came about. It was like last minute pulled me over to Dubai for 1 day.
Crazy. One day in
I'm
Dubai.
gonna stay there longer, but why on
You're
that
gonna stay in the
day?
air longer.
Yeah. So
Yeah, go
why
ahead.
on that day? Because it seemed like something that I had to do.
On Saturday?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what you're
Step
doing?
5.
Your actual plan? Or step 5? Well,
Yeah.
step 5.
Yeah. So or Sunday. Sorry.
Okay, step
Step 5.
5. Well, obviously there'll be some sort of some sort of intellectual connection. Mercury will trine Mars retrograde at 17 degrees. So, and Mars station is direct on Sunday. Wow. Mars station is
Whoa.
direct.
Okay, that makes sense.
So that what happened in Cancer, and the station is direct at 17 degrees, and Mercury trines Mars in Cancer at 17 degrees. 17 is my heart and soul commit to. So there's something there that is going to affect your commitment of how to go forward. I argue we'll find out next Monday, hopefully, will we? I
Yeah.
don't know if you'll be in the
Yeah.
air like at that time, but
No,
um,
I'll be back I'll be back down by you. I'll be in California because they're shooting the documentary on us all that
mm,
week.
mm, mm, that's cosmic. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think you'll
it's
have some
very.
sort of conversation that leads to each party thinking differently about themselves, like reframing how you think of yourself.
Mhm,
And it might be that you're meeting someone who's a grand reflection of yourself in a certain way that alters your view of yourself just slightly,
mhm.
because it's just the exchange of information. What you walk away personally is you're thinking about your soul's journey a little differently. And that alters your plans for how to move forward, which then will go
That feels
forward
all right.
around 7 p.m. Around 9 p.m. Eastern, Mars goes direct.
That feels right. Because I feel like I've been leading up to it. That's why I have all these connections coming in. These old people, grandmasters, like literally every single day. I just wake up and I'm like, "What's it going to be today?" It's been like that every day.
That's fun. Yeah, that is
Yeah,
fun.
it
Um,
is. I'm in the fun of it now. It's nothing seems scary. Even the scary things aren't scary anymore.
Me either. But I firmly don't believe they'll happen. And
Yeah. Well,
because
the scary part won't happen, but
correct, yeah, and if it does, it'll be in a way you couldn't fathom at that time. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
but I don't feel like I'm having a hard time actually serving those who are stuck in the old way, because I just don't see that. I don't see their future at all the way you see it, and so
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
just at complete odds. Like,
I'm
causing
there.
I disagree. You're going to be fine. I disagree. This can happen. But then again, if they're so determined to have that darkness, well, then yeah, I was there too, three, four lifetimes ago. I get it, you know. So what do I say in those? And so I guess in context that I don't know if I can be of service until you're at a certain level. Um, you know,
Well, that's also where the worlds are splitting, right?
yeah, into grades. Well, and I'm sure I was in their place during you know the Spanish Inquisition. I was in their place. Like I was angry, hurt, upset. During that time. Like so. I've had lifetimes where it didn't go my way, completely failed. Wasn't able to get what I wanted. I didn't probably realize to my deathbed I'd been a fool. Like, and so you don't get out of that. You have to live that on Earth at least one lifetime, and it's not judgment. It's just school. It's just the way it is.
So Pisces, so like on Saturday, step 5 Pisces, 5 is Gemini, lots of thoughts, lots of communication. Is that what people are up for on that day? Are people going to be speaking out, talking, sharing online?
Um, I don't know. I don't see I'll start bringing the full spectrum of the planets here. I think it's like a pensive. When you're in pensive in Pisces, once Pisces hits, your subconscious is very awake inside of you. So
Hmm.
so you're being led subconsciously through your day, whether you realize it or not. Your subconscious is speaking to you. So you're spacing out at traffic lights and getting honked at when it turns green. You're just kind of like a little cloudy. Everyone's a little cloudy, and with Mars retrograde, cloudy and unmotivated. But I do think there'll be some sort of epiphany, like some sort of epiphany about self, which may lead to sharing with others. But you might call them they're not available because they're off spacing out somewhere else themselves. But once Mars goes direct that night, there's like this, that Rocky music. Dun, 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 like suddenly there's this like dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun 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 dun, like at that point you put on that music and you're ready.
Well, the next day I'm meeting some people that want to take us through the whole Middle East. So basically, it's a sheikh and and his wife. So that's step 6, which
Monday.
is Monday.
That's where you're
What does that
accepting.
bring?
Well, I think at that point you're accepting the calling. So I think I feel I sense I feel that we have this calling. So our caller recently who just came on, was confused about her calling. She was confused, like, what is she called to as a soul? What is she called to? Meaning, like, it's like it spoke out to me. I knew it was for me. I know I belong there. I know I'm the one, or one of the ones, or one of the many who will do this. And that's a knowing in your soul. That's a vibrational thing you have to know. If you haven't faced your demons and your darkness in your soul, you can't answer that question because it's beget by all these kind of arguments inside of you. But step 5 is like, am I the next Christ? Like, is that kind of like, something like that to that effect, like, I'm the next, really? And your soul's like, so like and so probably all day it's like, really? Really? Like that constant argument in your mind. And then by Monday morning at step 6, like, I am. I am. I'm not quite sure how to tell people, but I am. Like, so there's this acceptance, that you are the next. Well, Christ is actually, Jesus is like interjecting right here with me. He's like, put his hand on my shoulder. He's like, yes, exactly what I did. Like, there's this moment when you are the Christ, you are part of creation. Creation. It's not what the church has told you. It's that you're a member of creation, which means you accept that you are not average. That you have the ability to create reality. That you have the ability to manifest miracles, and every human being does. That was Christ's message, or Jesus' message, who wore the suit of the Christ
Yeah.
consciousness, and that suit's been worn by
Anybody
other
with the
men.
name Chris or Christopher is for the Christ consciousness. That's how you came
100%.
into this world from.
A
Yeah.
legion. Yes. And you are saying, Christ every time you say Christopher. That's why I'm not Chris on the air. I force everyone to
Right.
say Christ. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so it's because of that. But it's not one man, like it's actually a role you can play on a planet when you've reached a certain level.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So somebody said earlier, so you're saying there is nothing wrong, when we were talking about, and I think that's really because people, they need to hear about it. You said, well, it's basically what your heart
Mhm.
wants.
There is no wrong in the company of heaven. You, there is no wrong. You're not punished for anything. You have to think about this in another context. It's like, this isn't a life of judgment where you were born as a sinner. This is a reality role-playing game that you cast your conscious down into an avatar, and you play the game until it's over, and you go back up and you compare notes with other people. That's what actually it is. It means nothing to who you are or anything to what you are capable of in the universe. It is simply a role-playing game. So, I've said this before. If you are, let's say, raped or, sexually abused in this lifetime, and you have not been a sexual abuser, you will be a sexual abuser in the next life or thereafter, because you must learn both sides of the character, both sides, the dark and the light. So tell me how's that possible if there's good and bad? If there's good and bad, how can you be a victim and then go off and be the bad guy having served as a victim? The answer is you have to learn both. And the reason why the earth has
Right.
half a day is sunlight and half a day is dark is because we're here on this earth to learn the power of the polarity and how the polarity is the fundament of reality. There are planets where
So
the sun never sets.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, exactly. And there's planets where the sun never rises either.
Correct. Yeah. And so those are people who are experiencing extremities of the light or extremities of darkness. I was told on Sirius, like, the darkest it gets is like twilight.
Hmm.
They don't know dark,
Right.
you know.
So
They didn't choose to live about it.
so this time is speeding up, and I've
Mm-hmm.
heard people say that that it's doubling, so that sometime around June, technically the energy of 2025 is done. How do you believe that, and what do you say about that?
I'm not sure what they mean by that, to be honest. Like, are you saying that, like,
Well,
we're in a new
the
year?
roles that we would normally play in the given time
Mm-mm.
is speeding up, so it's double speed, which I feel.
Mm.
So they said, so what they were saying is basically 2025 is effectively done. That energy is done by June, and then
Mm.
we move into what 2026 would be.
I would agree with that. And the reason is because of Jupiter. So Jupiter's in Gemini right now. So Gemini is fast, hopping, dancing. Like, I love Gemini energy. I loved when I was when I was a progressed Gemini. I'm a progressed Cancer now. Once those feelings catch up to you, things slow down really, really quickly. You know what I mean? Like, it suddenly it feels very real. And so for a year, from 25 until 26, with Jupiter in Cancer, we have to morph our feelings into the right responses, train our feelings, massage our feelings, nurture our feelings. We have to get our emotional vibration on the page of where we're going, where we are emotionally addicted to the old stuff. So
Hmm.
that's a lot of just like work. That's real spiritual work. Right now, it's actually not a lot of work. It's just ideas, and we're excited. We go to bed. Ideas, and we're excited. We go to bed. Like, we're not really having to work that much. Our mind just works that way. When you get to the
Hmm.
feelings, it's like feelings of dread, feelings of this. I feel guilty. I feel that, and each one of those has to be like, no, man, put to rest, put to rest, put to rest, put to rest. Like, for those who are going to ascend, they have to be all put to rest, literally put to rest.
So
So I feel like it feels very different once Jupiter hits Cancer.
we're coming up now. The elections come. Trump's making a whole bunch of waves, which I'm just looking at. Honestly, for me, it's just like entertainment now. Watching all of the stuff that we've been talking about for 20 years
Mm.
popping up because everybody, it's always been there, it's always been available, but no one chose to look. So now all the stuff is being revealed and coming up. So what do you feel like is going to happen politically, from the astrological side, let's say between now and the end of April?
Um, I think really nothing. I think as far as I feel no threats to the agenda right now. At the moment, I feel no threats to the agenda. I mean, it's going to be steady. It's going to be full steam ahead until June, July, probably around July 4th. It's probably around America's holiday. Like, and what I mean by they is, Jupiter is going to be in Cancer, which is the opposite of Capricorn, right? So what holds back Capricorn? Their emotions. Like, that's what holds them back. That's what screws them up. That's what keeps them from doing that's what being a cold bastard to their emotions, how they do dark stuff. Being, tied to their emotions, why they can't, pull the trigger and make the investment. Because they're too emotionally afraid to take the risk. Like, either way, Capricorn's held back by their emotions. Well, Jupiter comes into Capricorn, and Jupiter's like, okay, time to get free from where we were trapped emotionally. What does that do? Well, that allows anyone who is holding back to go forward. Anyone who's obsessed with power, Capricorn. Anyone who wants power, Capricorn. Anyone who's sick with power, envy, and that sort of thing with Capricorn. So it releases both the heroes and the demons to the world. In the sense that we're trapped by their own emotional consequence. And so at the same time, everyone's feeling weak and sensitive. So it could be a worse time to start it. Now, don't forget, you're on Saturn and Neptune going to Aries. And so I feel that what I concluded in the Countdown 2025 is that the war is introduced this year, but
Right.
picked up a year later, because Saturn and Neptune both go back into Pisces. It's like, oh shit, we got to retreat. We got to, it's like, it's almost like we come in, we're like, we're going to kill you. We declare this. And then it's like, oh, wait, we didn't expect that. And so there's like, it comes back like, hold on. There's this pulling back into Pisces, like connecting to God, like, really? Is this I should be, this is the less, like this, the mission, like, I think it's the point where like Christ is like, what? I'm going to die on the cross? Wait, we didn't talk about this. It's not the contract. There's a moment where it's just like, what do you mean I'm going to die? Don't worry, son, you won't feel pain. I don't believe you. There's that moment. Like, he's like, Jesus, what did I sign up for? So I think it's like literally Jesus, what I set up for, and that's going back into Pisces, And I think even people like yourself of pure good and light are going to be like, huh, like beyond what you imagined, because it couldn't be seen until you went around that corner.
Yeah, I have the underbelly. I see a lot of things that people don't see through my work with people, and it just feels like a lot of stuff is going to be revealed between now and then the summer. And I know that
Oh,
even
sure.
for myself and Human Garage, we have a big turning point in August. I can feel that coming too.
I think that's the light exposing the dark. So that's fair play and still the final move of that old game,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's sort of like the final arguments in the courtroom. So the light's going to go up, like, Your Honor, we say that these things, these have been wrong, this has been wrong, and this has been wrong, and this has been wrong, and so then it's like it goes into Aries, and dark is like, we're appealing, like, there's like that kind of moment, you're like, so it's like, okay, it kind of rests, but and so people go back to their corners, and they realize, okay, the way once it goes into Aries, what happens is I can't remember exactly, but I think Neptune goes to 2, Saturn only goes to 1. So Neptune goes to 2 and Saturn goes to 1. Okay, of Aries conjunct. So what that is like Saturn at 1 is like, my heart's most important. Period. Me, right? For the good of the we, me, and they're going to justify the me for the good of the we, which we always do, right? Like, this is for mankind. We got to stamp out this evil. We're doing a favor by killing the name of Christ. Like, we got to kill all these people who don't believe in Christ. They need to be executed from them. So even Christians have done this. You're like,
Yeah.
y'all are just like pests. You're like roaches. You got to go. Like, you Muslim, you're dead. Like, it's just like, so it's like, they all are justified in their hearts that they're doing the right thing because it's who they are and it's what they sign up for. But Neptune at 2 is like, I got a feeling of this, I got a feeling of that. So what happens is we only open up to like the very promise of who you are and what you're promising to yourself. And then we back away into Pisces, reconfirm with God, and then we march ahead where the 2 planets go marching way into Aries next year.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like you're going to have, the dark, the shadow stuff has been, presenting its plans for the planet for like the last 4 years. And I think the light will present its plans, in this first 6 months. And so there'll be a lot of rattling and shaking and clever, like, that's not me. You got me all wrong. That's not, like, so there's a lot of that and denial. But I think like, it's so profound on both sides. They both realize that the job is bigger than they thought. And so I think there's retreating. I think the falls are retreating. I also feel like as far as like, oppositional energy, the strategy of the shadow now is outside force. So so it won't be through government this time. It won't be through the medical industry this time. It won't be through anything. It's going to be something we haven't experienced before. They're going to pull out the card we didn't see ever, and never saw coming, didn't know existed. Like, that you're like, holy shit, for 2 reasons. Like, I didn't know that was possible. It's sort of like the Indians seeing the ships of a Spaniard, off the coast. They're like, what is that? Like, what is that? Like, so it was both like the end of their lives and also like, what is that big thing? So I think it's going to be something like that. I sense.
Chris, it's going to be a fantastic week. I am going to connect with you offline. I think you're ready.
Yay. Oh, totally ready. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. I was going through a wardrobe change there with diarrhea.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
So we'll connect offline, and we'll be ready for next week. I just feel this energy of transformation. So excited about it this week.
Me too. And I'm excited to talk to you, bub.
Okay,
So I guess our sister working out. Okay. Bye, guys. Love you. See you Thursday.
take care,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Okay.
Remember, if you haven't done it, SeriesJoy.com, you can sign up, use the code Human Garage. As you go through there, you can get, you can go to SeriesJoy.com and get the free basic forecast every day, but signing up, getting the messages makes a big difference in your life. We're in Dubai on the 23rd at the Longevity Conference. It's being posted up right now. You'll see reels and stuff come up. I'm taking selected meetings. We're getting ready to tour through the Middle East, through Kuwait, Jordan, Dubai, through India, a couple other places. But we're going over there to set up the whole thing. So looking forward to seeing what happens this week. I'll see you all next week. Take care.